Jaden's got 7 bank accounts: an everyday account, 2 savings accounts, a rainy day fund, a holiday fund, a credit union account from TAFE he never closed, and one he genuinely forgot existed until he found the card in an old wallet. 7 accounts. Total balance across all of them, $1,180. He's got more accounts than most tradies have invoices out, and less savings than most people keep sitting in one. More accounts doesn't mean more organised, it means more decisions. More decisions means more friction. And friction is the quiet killer of every money system that's ever fallen apart. Here's the fix, and it's almost annoyingly simple. 3 accounts. That's it. That's the whole system. Go below 3, and you can't separate money for living from money for building wealth. Go above 3, and nobody, not you, not anyone, keeps it up past month 4. 3 is the sweet spot. Simple enough to actually run for the next 20 years, functional enough to do everything you need. Account 1, the everyday transaction account. Money lands here. Bills leave here on auto pay. Transfers to the other 2 accounts fire here on Payday. 3 jobs, nothing else. Whatever's left after all, that is your spend up money for the fortnight. This account is a roundabout, not a garage. Money passes through, it doesn't park here. Keep 1 to 2 months of fixed costs as a buffer. Any less, you're 1 bill away from going into the red. Any more, that extra cash is earning basically nothing when it could be earning real money in account 2. Jaden shuts down 5 of his 7 accounts. 1 everyday account left standing. For the first time in years, he can actually see what he's got. That clarity alone is worth the 10 minutes it took. Now here's where it gets interesting, because account 2 is where most people are leaving real money on the table, some of them thousands of dollars a year, without even realizing it. Account 2, your high interest savings account, or HISA. This is where your emergency fund lives, along with your sinking funds for stuff you know is coming. Christmas, your mate's wedding in Byron. Right now, in 2026, the good online savers are paying somewhere between 4.5% and 5%. Meanwhile, the default saver account sitting inside most of the big 4 banks is still paying around 0.10%. Same government guarantee up to $250,000, same access to your cash. Just a wildly different return for doing absolutely nothing extra. On $10,000 sitting there for 3 years, that gap is worth well over $1,400 in your pocket just for picking the right bank. Your emergency fund isn't really savings, it's infrastructure. Without it, every Rego bill, dentist visit or car repair turns into a debt event on a credit card. 3 months of expenses, minimum. 6 if your income's irregular or you're on contract. Most online banks, think ING, Ubank, Macquarie, Up, let you split one HISA into named savers or pockets. Emergency fund, car fund, Christmas fund, all sitting inside the one account, all earning the same rate, all visible at a glance. You don't need 4 separate accounts to feel organized. You need 4 labels inside one. Jaden opens his first HISA. Takes him 10 minutes on his phone. His emergency fund goes from earning next to nothing to earning close to 5%. Account 2 is live. Quick one before we get into account 3, because this is the one people always ask about in the comments. Drop a comment below. How many bank accounts have you got right now? And be honest, how many of them do you actually use? All right, account 3. This is where the actual wealth gets built. Account 3 does one job. It builds wealth over decades. Nothing else touches this account. Here's the priority order, and it matters. Follow it in this sequence every single time. First, your employer's compulsory super guarantee. In 2026, that's sitting at 12% of your wage, and it lands automatically whether you think about it or not. You don't get a say, but you should know it's happening because it's the base layer everything else sits on. Second, salary sacrificing extra into super, on top of what your employer already pays. That extra chunk gets taxed at 15% going in, instead of your normal marginal tax rate, which for a lot of people is more than double that. That's not a loophole. That's the government handing you a discount for locking money away for retirement. The combined cap for 2025 to 26 sits at $30,000 a year across everything going into super, so there's real room to move for most people. Third, a low-cost index fund or ETF portfolio sitting outside super in a regular brokerage account, somewhere like Perla, CommSec Pocket, or Stake. This is your wealth account for money you want to be able to touch before you hit preservation age. Super's brilliant, but it's locked up for decades. This isn't. $500 a month into that ETF account at a long-run average return lands you somewhere around $87,000 after 10 years. Leave it running for 30 and you're looking at somewhere north of $600,000. $500 is your floor, not your ceiling. Every pay rise should nudge that number up before your lifestyle eats it. One rule tells you which account any given dollar belongs in. Need it within 3 years? Account 2. Got 10 plus years up your sleeve? Account 3. The timeline decides, not your mood on a Tuesday. Jaden sets up a $400 monthly transfer into his ETF portfolio and bumps his salary sacrifice up slightly. Account 3 is live. The full system's running. Now the bit nobody talks about, the part that actually makes this whole thing work, long after the motivation wears off. Automation. Automation is what keeps this alive, past week 2. It doesn't need your willpower, it doesn't need you to remember. It fires on payday whether you're thinking about money that day or not. 5 things to automate. Pay lands in your everyday account. Bills go on direct debit. Your HISA transfer fires on payday. Your investing transfer fires on payday. 1 hour of setup, total. Years of benefit for free. A simple starting split on a $5,000 pay, 70% stays in your everyday account for bills and spending. That's $3,500. 10% or $500 goes to your HISA. 20% or $1,000 goes to investing. Adjust it as your income grows, and every pay rise is a decision point. Let it get absorbed into lifestyle, and your timeline stays exactly the same. Point even half of it at accounts 2 and 3, and everything speeds up. Once a month, ask yourself 3 questions. Is my everyday account above its safe minimum? Did my HISA and investing accounts get their transfers? Is any savings goal falling behind? 10 minutes. That's the entire maintenance job. Jaden, 3 months in, 3 clean accounts. Every dollar with a job, $3,900 sitting across savings and investing that used to be scattered across 7 logins nobody checked. Same income as before, completely different structure. 2 things people always push back on. I need more accounts to stay organised. And what about a separate account for every single goal? Both mix up complexity with organisation. Complexity feels productive. It rarely is. 7 accounts means 7 logins, 7 balances to check. 7 chances to just give up on the whole thing. Friction causes abandonment, and name pockets inside one HISA already solve the separate goals problem without adding a single extra account. If you're carrying high interest debt, a credit card sitting near 20%, or Afterpay stacking up, the order shifts slightly. Employer super still happens automatically either way, but anything above roughly 7% interest gets smashed before extra investing. Same 3 accounts, same direction, just smaller numbers while you clear it. Start with $100 a month if that's all there is. The structure matters more than the amount because the structure is what you'll actually stick with for the next decade. Jaden, 10 years in, nearly $19,000 sitting in a fully funded HISA, a serious head start in his ETF portfolio, and super combined, well past $100,000 in extra wealth he wouldn't have built otherwise. Built from 3 accounts and 1 hour of setup a decade earlier. The best money system isn't the smartest one on paper. It's the one you're still running in 10 years. Complicated systems get binned by year 2. Simple ones run quietly in the background for decades. Simplicity doesn't win because it's clever. It wins because it survives. Wealth isn't built by complexity. It's built by consistency. And consistency needs simplicity underneath it. 3 accounts, 1 direction. Fully automated, that's the whole formula. A free everyday account at any of the big banks. A HISA at an online bank paying somewhere around 4.5 to 5%. And 1 low-cost ETF bought automatically every single month and left alone. This weekend, open the HISA. Set up or bump your salary sacrifice, open the brokerage account, automate both transfers, 40 minutes, tops, and the whole system's live. If this hit home, Do us a favour and smash that subscribe button. More of this dropping every week. And if you know someone with more bank accounts than they can name and still no idea where their money's going, send them this one. Now drop it in the comments. How many accounts have you actually got? And which ones are getting closed this weekend? Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.